Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you'll find a description of the day's astrology as I have spelled it out here. Here, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll play another card that, in the context of today's astrology, may just give us something more to think about. So let's get into it, shall we? The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Three of Swords. And it's here because it represents the second 10 days of the sun's journey in the land of Libra. Libra is an air sign, and swords in tarot are air element symbolism. So we're talking about the intellect. Air element symbolism is about how we think, how we speak, how we plan. Okay, so we come to the Three of Swords, and think of the swords as somebody's thoughts, words, or plans that they made. And you see that somebody is really suffering a broken heart here. And if it's you, if you're the one suffering a broken heart, I'm sorry for you, because this is a feeling that just stinks, right? Somebody has used their thoughts, their words, their plans in such a way that it has wounded us to our core. And that's a heavy feeling. You see those heavy gray clouds and that bleak gray sky and the rain coming down. It's a cold feeling, right? So, that is a pain that one cannot avoid, right? Everybody suffers some heartbreak from time to time. Everybody has felt the sting of another's words, and the sort of rejection and betrayal that represents, that sort of drives a wedge between yourself and another person. And so, when we have a broken heart, there's this time when we have to sort of turn within and reflect. We have to find a way to pull those swords out, to make those words that were used against us stop applying to us, right? and then attend to the wounds of our heart, knowing that we will come back stronger, knowing that we will be capable of connection again, but really maybe not just now. Okay, so if you're in that place, I'm sorry to hear it, but understand that there is still hope, that healing will occur. Okay, and really, the more determined you are to heal, the more progress you can make with your healing. Okay, you can let those wounds fester for years and years, or you can really, go about the work of healing your heart, and so that you can move on with your life. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card. And we got the Fool. Okay, so the Fool is all about a fresh start. And this is a major arcana card, but it's a zero numbered card, which is funny that you bother putting a number on it, even if it's a zero. But the major arcana go 0 through 21. And this is the first one, the Fool. This is where we start. We start at ground zero. We start where we don't know anything. We don't know anything about what we're doing. We don't know what it's practical to be wearing. We don't know what it's practical to be engaged in while we sally forth on our new adventure. We've just sort of done the best we can according to what we know, and now we're going to head out. And, fortunately, we do have our little, our intuitive nature, our our loyal Jiminy Cricket sort of guide, to sort of nip at our heels every once in a while if it looks like we're going to do something dangerous, like walk off the end of a cliff. Okay, so my first guidance is, listen, listen, when you start out on a path and you are the Fool and you recognize that you don't really know what you're doing, but you're going to go ahead and do it, which is a place I love to be. As an Aries, I don't ever mind being the Fool and, having the whole world to learn again. So, when you're starting out, you just have to be aware. You have to really pay attention to the obstacles that are thrown up and the things that slow you down, okay? Because it's not always a bad thing to have an obstacle get in the way. It's not always a bad thing to miss a flight, right? Even if all you wanted was to make that flight, it's not always a bad thing to miss it, okay? So, pay attention to the things that are slowing you down. Pay attention in general, right? Don't be so foolish as to just be, not aware of your surroundings, all right? And definitely pay attention to the sort of terrain you're in, figuratively and literally, friends. And so I associate the Fool with Aries, and I associate the Fool sometimes with Mars. I wonder. I would say the Fool is more like a mercurial vibe. Just, moving so quickly, thinking so quickly, feeling like we have it all under control and we're just going to go ahead and move forward. But maybe it's more like a Mercury retrograde, because it's like we think we know what we're doing, but we don't. We really don't, right? You can be the Fool without knowing it. Because when you're the Fool, especially, you just don't know what you don't know. But so I see Mercury over here, and Mercury is sort of goggling at all the opportunities in opposition to Neptune, in opposition to Neptune retrograde and Jupiter in retrograde, which are really asking us to create room for more ideal scenarios in our lives. And Moon's kind of like over here, like, I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe I could ever have that. But I think I'm willing to move in that direction. Like, we see that there are changes coming up. We see that there's a shift coming up in our potential, in our capabilities, or just, a move ahead of us, or some sort of a change we're trying to make in our lives. So we see that shift coming up. We're really in a blessed position to see it and plan for it, and to have some positive things happen on the road to, those ideal circumstances for ourselves, right? So, maybe we don't know what we don't know, and maybe we're just tripping lightly in that direction, having faith that it's going to be a positive experience. And, that's fine. That's really a good place to be in. It's a very innocent place to be in. So again, it's important to just be very aware of your surroundings and, what it is that you're encountering when you're encountering it. And then the Moon, and then Mars is still making this T-square with Mercury and Neptune, saying, sort of adding some heat, adding some urgency or some restlessness to the opposition between these. And mostly it's encouragement to go ahead and move in the direction of those ideal circumstances, move in the direction of the dream. But, I would also say there's a warning here not to be too impatient, not to be so impatient that you don't make a plan, or that you don't have any idea really what you're going to do next, okay? We've got to strategize a little bit. Mars wants us to strategize. And then taken together with the Three of Swords. Well, a broken heart, kind of does equate to a fresh start. Hopefully, friends, if somebody breaks your heart 3 times, okay? If somebody stabs you in a way that makes you have 3 entry wounds and 3 exit wounds, okay? If somebody really, really hurts you and harms you physically, emotionally, verbally, okay, if somebody plays games with you, if you find out somebody has been lying to you, if somebody makes a plan that actively causes you harm, or makes a plan that that excludes you where you should have been included, that kind of stuff. If somebody breaks your heart, hopefully you walk away from those people. Hopefully you know who your friends are not at that time, okay? And hopefully you understand that this is a fresh start. You can just say goodbye to the jerks that mistreated you with their words and their thoughts and their plans, and you can go do something else. Go be yourself in another way, in another place. And maybe you don't know what you're doing with that fresh start. It would be logical not to know what you're doing with that fresh start. If you already had a plan in place and you had friends, or you had a lover, or you had, whatever kind of situation this might be, it's a cohort. It's like your workplace or your family. It can be your romantic relationship. It can be a friendship. It can be like a social or civic sphere kind of thing. But when somebody has wounded you, when somebody has shown you who they are by stabbing you in the heart, please walk away. All right, make that fresh start. And even if you don't know what you're doing, that's no reason to cling to somebody who would wound you. Okay, so that guidance comes through very quickly, very strong. All right, please don't allow people to continue to hurt you like this. Right? Please don't allow somebody who has hurt you like this continue to have any kind of effect in your life. Okay, and make that fresh start. It's a good omen, the Fool, but it's just a reminder that we have to be aware that there are things we're not aware of. We have to be aware that we don't know what we don't know, and that there is a lot we don't know, right? So we have to be in a more learning and receptive mode. We can't just be, distracting ourselves with pleasantries as we head out, on our own, on a different trajectory to find different friends, a different cohort, a different workplace, a different lover, whatever that is. Just a different way of being with ourselves. Maybe we've been stabbing ourselves in the heart with the terrible things we say to ourselves, right? It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life, okay, friends? So enjoy it. Enjoy that sense of beginning and that sense of innocence and newness, all right? Just be aware. Just keep your eyes open, right? We're not completely inexperienced here. We're just experienced in this new chapter in our lives. So let's act like it. All right, I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your tuning in and listening to me ramble. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.